Can you hear me? I can't hear. I can't hear you. Oh my goodness. Hello? Denise? Denise? Hello?
Mark?
Yeah, unfortunately, I see you perfectly. I see David. But I can't hear you. I'm so sorry.
We can't hear you either. We don't know what's going on. I was just about to try and call. You want me to call our IT person, see if I can get him?
Yeah, I could hear him perfectly. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds great. I could hear you. Okay, thank you.
I can. My battery is low. I'm just going to need to plug in. Okay.
Do you want to call me, David?
No.
Okay. I'll hang up. Okay, David, thank you.
Oh, now we hear.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, so we can see you, you can see us, and
The recording happens in, well, actually, we are. I don't know. We are.
God knows what's happening. Okay. Record. Recording up on top. Lord knows what it's recording. We can't hear. No, it's Allison. That's what we're gonna do. Okay. Denise, can you go ahead and open the meeting now?
Sorry, just 1 second.
You would know. Find the person. No. On the public notice message, the Oprah message. It's a new one for this year.
You'll buy me with the email she sent us for this meeting.
Can you use the one? Well, that's what I was gonna suggest. Yeah, that was from 2020. Before the pandemic.
So. This is the February 5th annual reorganization meeting of the zoning board of adjustment. This meeting was originally scheduled for January 16th, 2024. Due to inclement weather, the meeting was canceled, and the rescheduled date was for today, February 5th. This meeting is being held in person in the meeting hall on the 2nd floor of the Bernardsville Municipal Building at 166 Mine Brook Road. Members of the public wishing to offer comments will be required to attend in person. The notice of these meeting changes has also been emailed to and faxed to the Bernardsville News, the Courier News, be posted on the borough website, and filing a copy with the municipal clerk, all on February 1st, 2024. It is the intention of the board not to continue any matter past 11 p.m. at any regular or special meeting of the board unless a motion is passed by the members then present to extend to a later specified cutoff time, whose same shall be announced at the opening of each meeting. Members of the public may participate in meetings at certain designated times as announced by the board chair. Members of the public will be permitted to address applicants and their experts, ask questions, and or make comments as appropriate once invited to do so. Any hearing conducted or a quasi-judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision. Decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must be maintained at all times. At this point, since this is our annual reorganization meeting, I would like to ask for nominations for board chairperson.
I'll make the nomination.
No, wait. Before we do that, we have to swearing in two members.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, you're right. My apologies.
Are the four members, well, Rich is not here. Mark, do you have the magic words up there?
Yes, I do, in front of me.
All right, I would ask David, Mark, and Tom, hopefully in somewhat unison,
Okay,
to read, obviously plug in your name and plug in whatever the position is on the board. If you can just raise your hand and do that as a group, then I can sign where I'm supposed to sign and we'll make it official. Give it a go.
I,
I,
David
Mark
Greenbaum,
Malillo,
do solemnly swear that
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of the Board of Adjustment Alternative Member Number 3, according to the best of my ability, and that I will use my office to grant preferential treatment, nor to seek personal gain, favor, or advantage not available to the general public. So help me God.
Wonderful. I'm okay. Worthington.
Mark, sign yours and mail it in,
Will do.
and Denise will
You can slide yours over.
just take care of it. Okay. Now you can do a roll call.
You want to do roll call first then before we do? Mr. Albertson? Here. Mr. Greenbaum?
Here,
Ms. Kramer?
Here.
Mr. Dow?
Here.
Mr. Stoudier?
Here.
Mr. Sedlak? Is absent. Mr. Trainer? Absent. Mr. Slocum?
Here.
Ms. Leffler? Is absent. And Mr. Malillo?
Here,
Here he is. Okay. We have a quorum,
Cool. Now the officers.
yes. I know from
Or the chair.
technical.
I'll make the first nomination. Want me to make it?
Sure.
Okay, I'll nominate our honorary chairman, David Greenbaum, to be the ongoing chairperson
This was for 2024.
for 2024.
There's a second by Jeff. Any other nominations? You just put them until 2030. I guess there's no other nominations. Close them. We'll roll, please.
Mr. Del Russo,
Yes.
Mr. Greenbaum?
I don't vote.
You
It's okay. What we generally do is just cast one vote and be done.
Ms. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mr. Sauer?
Yes.
Slocum?
Yes.
And Mr. Little?
Yes.
The motion carries. Congratulations. Mr. Kramer.
Great, thank you for placing your trust with me yet again. Okay. So now we can hold an election for vice chairperson. Is there? I'll nominate Jeff. Does anybody want it, Eddie?
Are you an alternate or a regular member?
He's regular member.
I'm regular. That's good news. All right. There's been
I'll second.
okay.
Well, wait, so he nominated himself?
No.
I just said I do.
Well, no.
It's up to everybody else. Okay, so we need a formal nomination
All right, I'll nominate Ed,
for Ed.
Ed McDowell for
I'll
the
second.
vice chair.
Okay.
Okay,
Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Nominations are closed then?
yep. Cast one vote for Ed Dunn.
Mr. Delarisa?
Yes.
Mr. Greenbaum?
Yes.
Ms. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Stay.
Mr. Sauer?
Yes.
Slocum?
Yes.
And Mr. Malone?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Okay. So now we go through all the resolutions. To the group. Okay. Whereas there exists a need for legal, this is resolution number Board of Adjustment 2024-01. Whereas there exists a need for legal representation, Board of Adjustment, Borough of Bernardsville, whereas it is expected that funds will be available for this purpose. And whereas the local public contracts law, NJSA 48:11-1 FSAC requires that the resolution authorizing the award for contracts for professional services without competitive bid must be publicly advertised. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of Adjustment of the Borough of Bernardsville and the County of Somerset, State of New Jersey as follows. One, the chairman and administrative officer of the Board of Adjustment are hereby authorized and directed to execute an agreement with Louis P. Rago Esquire in accordance with the attached fee proposal dated January 12, 2024 for the performance of legal services, Board of Adjustment, Borough of Bernardsville, subject to the appropriation of funds. Two, this contract is awarded without competitive bidding as a professional service under the provisions of local public contracts law because New Jersey statute NJSA 48:11-5 permits such work to be performed without advertising for bids. And three, a notice of the award of this contract shall be published in the Bernardsville News as required by law within 10 days of its passage. Will somebody move that, please?
I'll make a motion.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Delarisa?
Yes.
Mr. Greenbaum?
Yes.
Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mr. Sauer?
Yes.
Mr. Sedlock? Oh, sorry, he's watching. Mr. Slocum?
Yes.
And Mr. Malone?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Okay, resolution number BOA 2024-probably 02.
It is.
You must have the one here. Board engineering expert. That's okay. I got it. Whereas there exists a need for an engineering consultant for the Board of Adjustment of the Borough of Bernardsville, and whereas it is expected the funds will be available for this purpose, and whereas the local public contracts law, NJSA 48:11-1 SEC requires the resolution to authorize the award of the contracts for professional services without competitive bids must be publicly advertised. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Adjustment, Borough of Bernardsville, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey as follows. One, the chairman and administrative officer of the Board of Adjustment are hereby authorized and directed to execute an agreement with Ferrero Engineering, which should be Boswell, in accordance with the attached 2024 fee schedule dated November 16, 2026 for the performance of 2023. Making changes here. For the performance of engineering services for the Board of Adjustment of the Borough of Bernardsville, subject to the appropriation of funds. This contract is awarded without, two, this contract is awarded without competitive bidding as a professional service under the provisions of the local public contracts law because the New Jersey statute NJSA 40A:11-5 permits such work to be performed without advertising for bids. 3, a notice of award of this contract shall be published in the Bernardsville News as required by law within 10 days of its passage. Will somebody move
I'll make
this?
a motion. Second.
Roll calls.
Mr. Delaware. Mr. Greenbaum.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Sally.
Yes.
Sawyer.
Yes.
Courtroom.
Yes.
And Mr. Lino.
yes,
Motion carries. I will make those corrections and I will also be thinking that it's from the.
Okay. Yeah, pass this one over to Denise. Okay, resolution number BOA 2024-03, board planning expert. Whereas there exists a need for planning consultant, the Board of Adjustment, Borough of Bernardsville, and whereas it is expected the funds will be available for this purpose, and whereas the local public contracts law NJSA 48:11-1 at SAC requires that the resolution authorizing the award for contracts for professional services without competitive bids must be publicly advertised. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Adjustment of the Borough of Bernardsville, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey as follows. 1, the chairman and administrative officer of the Board of Adjustment are hereby authorized and directed to execute an agreement with Burgess Associates Inc., specifically designated Senior Associate John Zabel, professional planner, as the board planner, in accordance with the attached Burgess Associates Inc. 2024 fee schedule for performing planning services for the aforesaid Board of Adjustment of the Borough of Bernardsville, subject to the appropriation of funds. 2, this contract is awarded without competitive bidding as a professional service under the provisions of local public contracts law because New Jersey statute NJSA 48:11-5 permits such work to be performed without advertising bids. And 3, the notice of the award of this contract shall be posted in the Bernardsville News as required by law within 10 days of its passage.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Delaware. Greenbaum.
Yes.
Yes.
Sally.
Yes.
Sawyer.
Yes.
Courtroom.
Yes.
And Mr. Lino.
yes,
Thank you. The motion carries.
And resolution number BOA 2024-04 for the Board Administrative Officer, be it resolved that Denise Falardo be appointed the Administrative Officer of the Board of Adjustment for Bernardsville for the year 2024.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Delaware.
Yes.
Mr. Greenbaum.
Yes.
Yes.
Sally.
Yes.
Sawyer.
Yes.
Courtroom.
Yes.
yes,
Thank you.
Resolution number BOA 2024-05, official newspapers. Be it resolved that the Bernardsville News and the Courier News be designated the official newspapers for the purpose of publishing legal notices relative to applications and other matters before the Board of Adjustment of the Borough of Bernardsville during the 2024 calendar year and during January 2025. Be it further resolved that whenever feasible, applicants shall publish their notices in the Bernardsville News.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Roll call.
Delaware.
Yes.
Mr. Greenbaum.
Yes.
Yes.
Sally.
Yes.
Sawyer.
Yes.
Courtroom.
Yes.
And Mr. Lino.
yes,
Motion carries.
Okay. The last one, let's see. Yeah, so according to the agenda at this point, let's discuss in-person versus virtual meetings going forward for the remainder of 2024. Does anybody have a preference?
I prefer in person.
I prefer in person.
I like it in person. It's fun being here, but my wife's a nice nurse. The days she works, we sort of get home late 9 o'clock, and it's much more personally getting each day. We need my Zoom because I could consider possibly missing. So, personally, first. I have a question too about the calendar. I thought I read someplace in the council is now meeting on the 3rd and 4th Mondays of the month.
Yes, when they're meeting the same night as us, they'll be meeting in the next room because it's like a work meeting.
Oh, I see, okay.
I would just, in terms of speaking about the in-person and the Zoom, I would just say that I think, I mean, obviously, just from, it'd be great to do the Zoom, and with all due respect, I just will give my opinion as well. Is I think that, I think it's better for the town and for the applicant to be in person, to really open it up for discussion, and that everybody's paying attention and focused, and that everyone has an opportunity to interact and discuss, because when the applicants come, they spend a lot of money on architects, on lawyers, whatever they're spending on, and they're big decisions. So, personally, I would like Zoom too, but I personally think it is better for everyone to be in person. That's my opinion.
I agree with Diane. I like it in person. I like the computer person. But I like the presentation and seeing it. And it's so easier to ask questions of the applicants. You get a better feel for what you're approving or denying.
I like both of them, but I think if you're on Zoom, it gives the people that normally won't go because they can't get babysitter, they can't, they can, if they're on Zoom, they can come in, mute their camera, do what they're gonna do at home, and then when we call that person, they come in, they unmute it, and they can be part of it. Where I think if you don't do it, people like spend their night here and all the time they have to get babysitters, they don't show up.
Jeff, I can agree with that point, but with my experience just being a member for 1 year, I truly enjoyed the professional presentation. It was clear. The exhibits were clear on my screen, as opposed to applicants bringing in drawings and trying to put it up on the screen. And I know just the one that we had in person, the Liberty Dog Farm, it was difficult. Not that it was that difficult, because the applicant's only 20 feet in front of you, but I think the professional presentation from an engineer or a planner, especially when they presented on a Zoom, it was very easy to follow for me. And I'm just giving a 1 year opinion. I enjoyed the Zoom. I get to spread my stuff out, all my maps out, and then get to see accurately what the applicant is saying, especially when they're presenting their form. So that's just, I prefer Zoom, but I'm just one voice.
What I do want to bring up is, if we're going to meet in person, this evening was a great example. We're not doing hybrids.
No, please not.
I don't want to try and do this on any given meeting night. If you can't be here, you can't be here. We're not going to bring people in on Zoom. I also don't think that the YouTube stream is at all useful.
Absolutely.
Correct.
If it's going to be in person, it's going to be in person, and there isn't going to be a YouTube stream. There's no reason for it.
The YouTube is more a matter of record than it is for participation. So you're either going to do YouTube and house that, or you're going to do an audio recording and house that.
Correct. But you still have to have a video, because even if we're sitting here, all of the documents are going to be displayed on the screen.
I would also just say this, that, I know I've been on this board for more than 10 years. I know that I'm dating myself more
No,
than 10 years.
no, it just means you're 31.
And, before COVID, when it was a legitimate reason to go on Zoom, we were all here. We were fun. We made it happen. We had very lively discussions, very clear questions. People were engaged. You could see them. And it was very interactive. And I really have to say, for the town, I think as a Board of Adjustment, they're better served by us being in person and being engaged with them in terms of being able to discuss stuff. And it is true that we never had a problem before COVID. You know, I know COVID is a separate issue. But we never had a problem being in person.
No, and I know that I preferred in person when COVID hit. And I think it took everybody on this board a while to become accustomed to a format and a style of interaction with Zoom. And it took us a while to do that, but we did it successfully. I don't think the town was disserved at all. I think everybody participated well. We had lively discussions on Zoom. I think the applicants presented their information. And quite frankly, I think it was more convenient for everybody involved.
I agree.
Attorneys didn't have to drive here. Experts didn't have to drive here. The applicant didn't have to be here. Everybody could sit wherever they were. You know, didn't have to have pants on or skirts. And
Nobody needs to know.
nobody needed to know. And so and the public participated very well. So there's that piece of it. The other half of the in person is, I know when we had hotly contested applications, we had times where there were people standing in the vestibule outside, and we had to have police officers here to control the order.
Very true.
Since COVID, there is a lower density in the audience. So if we had 75 people in the past in the meeting room, we don't have that now because the chairs are all separated. So I don't know what the capacity is, but it certainly isn't 75.
There used to be a sign.
There is, it does have to be, I'll just have to do something about it for a planning board matter. And that's supposed to only be people seated, it's not supposed to include standing.
And there aren't supposed to be standing.
Exactly.
I mean, the limit of 70 is real. If that's what fire code says, then we're done at 70. And if there's, I was just gonna say, if there's 11 of us, plus a couple of professionals, you know, that takes 15 out of the 70. It's 55 people from the borough that can attend a meeting. And nobody wanted to play with putting meetings in the PAC over at the high school.
Right.
Because there were no facilities for recording the meeting or anything else, and nobody wanted to play with that. Okay, fine. You know, we that issue was brought up with some of those larger meetings, which we did have a couple of years back, and they will occur again. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's a light switch. We're either going to do in person or virtual. I do not want to do hybrids. It's way too hard. The technology is impossible to manage.
I agree.
As Mark is feeling. And so, as a board, I'd like us to have a consensus. Do we want in person or do we want virtual? Let's vote. Happy to.
All right, I'll go around the horn.
Can I make a point that David raised it in terms of capacity? There's case law to the effect that if a board knows that there's an application that's going to bring in a lot of people, and there'd be cases where the crowd's outside, the law basically says that you have to either find a facility where they can be held, where all of them can be held, or set up, and as I've seen them both, set up television monitors so that people out in the hall can participate, at least see it, hear it. And I don't know if we're going to have any major cases down the road that's going to pack the room. We have had it in the past. We may have them again. I don't know, but it's a consideration. It's not a big room. So,
Well, what's the can we switch from in-person to virtual mid-hearing if we need to accommodate a situation like that?
yeah, I don't think there's anything against that, so long as
have to advertise it or can we announce it at the meeting?
I would think the initial meeting is when the advertising takes. If we have a meeting,
So if we it's advertised in person,
right,
we have a giant, humongous crowd. It's not gonna finish in the first night. We tell everybody, hey, the next meeting is gonna be virtual.
or if there's 30 people on the hall and they want to come in and they can't because of fire rules, we're almost compelled to adjourn that hearing and say, look, we're going to carry this. We can't fit you all in. There's no television sets out there. You can't hear what's going on. We're going to carry it to another meeting where it's going to be virtual, or another meeting where we're going to be in a bigger room, which down here is not.
Well, and then also that would have, as far as the noticing would affect the applicant as well, the applicant would be jury notice.
Well, if they come here initially and the notice is proper, everybody knows it's here, and we then say there's 200 people here, we can't accommodate you. We're going to not start this tonight. We're going to adjourn it to March or May or
Then
April,
and the
and it's going to be online. Then probably to play it safe, the applicant would want to do that in case somebody missed the first go round. But that's not on us. We're just trying to be cautious. But
It's certainly, the link would certainly be published in the agenda, which is available on the
Yes.
borough website.
Yeah.
It's not like it's hidden. I'm just thinking of that as an option for large hearings, because
that's if we stay local, there may be a time
when we have to do
where
virtual.
it won't fit in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So or we do virtual.
I mean, we had the case with the Heritage, which more than filled the room. We had the case with the turf field, which way more than filled the room.
The one up on it's the church.
That's Clemmer. That's the Heritage. Okay.
That was
And yeah, the Exxon station got a little testy.
Yeah.
So as long as we have an option to switch them to virtual, we do. I'm okay with in person. And just using that as an escape valve to get us out of hot water.
Mhm.
Because like I said, I know that the density in the room is low. I don't think there's 70 chairs. I don't think there's 50 chairs out there. There's like 40. Yeah, so we're not gonna get 70 people in this room.
Not sitting.
Nope. Okay. So does somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to
Live or
have
virtual?
in-person meetings and virtual if necessary as deemed by the chairperson.
Okay. That works.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We be in person. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the meeting calendar for the remainder of the year. Yeah. So, Denise identified 2 meetings on Tuesdays. February 20th, because the 19th is President's Day. And September 3rd, because the 2nd is Labor Day. Other than that, we are first and third Mondays.
First and third.
Yeah. And in July, we have 1 meeting, the third Monday, avoiding the July 4th week. And in December, we have only the first Monday, avoiding the third month. And then our reorganization meeting is Tuesday, January 21st, because that Monday is MLK Day, the 20th. Does anybody have any issues with calendar? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Russo?
Yeah.
Mr. Greenbaum?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes,
Ms. Raymond? Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
if my husband.
Mr. Salyer?
Yes.
Slocum,
Yes.
and Mr. Malloy.
Yes,
Motion carried.
Dave, you have to read it, this resolution.
Well, I'm gonna let Denise fix the resolution so that the regular meetings we held in person or online via Zoom if we need to.
If necessary,
If necessary.
And just as a point of clarification, keeping 7:30.
Yes.
Correct?
Yep, we're keeping 7:30 as a time.
And then I'll be again changing the date of adoption.
Okay. Yeah, we tried 7 o'clock one year and that was a bad idea. That did not work. Okay. So that's the end of the reorganization topics. We have draft meeting minutes from November 20th. And find my
And
minutes.
I didn't finish with them before.
Yeah.
We'll have them-
And on the 20th minutes, I think the only professional present was John Zabo, not Luke.
Well, and I had the questions, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So John was here, Lou wasn't. And there was something else on here. Okay, so Liberty Farm Dog was carried to 12-4. What else? I thought there was something else. Oh, members present, yeah. Oh. Please,
Yeah, this is what I heard from Anthony's notes.
yeah. Is the present and absent accurate? The present for the 20th, because I don't remember.
This was the Monday before Thanksgiving, we ended up canceling the applicant. So it was just a very brief open and close.
Right,
Yes, and Anthony was here, so I was
Yeah.
there.
Mhm. I was there.
so that's McDowell, Slocum, Wilson. Jeff, were you here?
I think so.
I thought so too. I was here.
On the 20th.
Yeah, so you were not here on the 20th, okay. So Loeffler, Sedlock, Trainer weren't here, and Chick, you weren't here on the 20th. Okay, so, all right, that's accurate then. Let's see. So the draft meeting minutes are that's that. Okay. Okay, so I guess it's just not Lou, but John was here. Okay. And we carried Liberty Farm Dog to 12-4. They wanted that. We had to get together because of that. Okay. So as amended,
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Cool. Minutes are approved. Now we can get to the public hearings. An hour later. Liberty Farm Dogs, application number 23-04.
Do we want to see if we can get the Zoom and the YouTube going before?
No, I'm done with YouTube.
We're just doing notes. still.
see.
I was good.
Okay. Is anybody here for Liberty Farm Dogs? Did they let you know?
Did they know?
Yeah, they knew. They asked for postponement to this meeting.
You know what I thought was weird, David, was when Angela went to the box to get the to get stuff, whatever the stuff was in there, and only Bernard's app was in there. I said to her, well, I told you to look for the Liberty Farm Dogs because they were supposed to have like floor plans and flows of where they would store it.
Issues.
Yeah,
There was nothing there.
okay.
Well, what they resubmitted was in electronic, but they were going to, it was going to be exhibits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably only electronic, Mark,
Okay.
which I'm not a big fan of because they're supposed to submit paper too. However,
But the exhibits, I don't think they have required.
no, they don't.
Yeah.
But at for the meeting of the 16th, they wanted a postponement to tonight.
That's right, they did.
So I don't know why they're not here.
I noticed a typo on the website. Today was the said Monday is 6th. Possibly Monday the 6th.
Yeah.
Well, except that their correspondence with Denise was, the email that I saw was Monday the 5th.
Yeah, I had to do something with the IT person, but, you know, that's,
No, it won't make any difference.
No,
They're not here.
They're not here.
Do we notice and push it, or what do we do?
At this point, we're not gonna do anything, and they're gonna have to renotice.
Okay.
They have to renotice.
correct.
Close. What are the next meetings? No, they could renotice, for the 20th. No, they could. They have 10 days.
no, based on,
Yeah,
well, they would be up to notice by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. To make the notice. To begin for, yeah,
well, they could notice in the Courier News too. And the Courier News has a,
These days, geez,
yeah, they're like 5 days prior to a publication.
so it's 15.
Yeah, there's.
They used to be longer than that. Anyway, they need to figure it out.
Okay, so we're not carrying it.
I can't carry it. I don't know when to carry it to.
Right.
It's, so they need to renotice. There's a gap in notice. Yeah. And no one's fault, it's just the way it is. Yep. Okay, so that's Liberty Farm done. Good job. So now we have 51 Bernards Ave. Location 23-02. That's good.
Last time I said smoke.
Yeah, well, now there's change. I don't have. for 51. Pardon? It's on. Tiffany's gonna get. Okay. How are we doing? Doing very good. Oh, okay. Is John's report in there? Oh, wait. So let's see, we have contours not provided.
There were quite a few missing items based on some of what I received.
Soils,
Board.
Okay, so there's nothing material that you think was missing?
It was complete for minor subdivision. I use that in the experience that missing terms. Subdivided property, family homes on parcel roads. Matter is very sad. That's conceiving, that's patient, used to give part of use variance.
Okay. Okay, so with that, with John's comment, does the board deem the application complete, which starts clock? My recommendation is I think that they're complete.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the application.
And if we need anything further than this course to hear, we have to write back. So we're good on that. Roll on, roll.
I understand if you want to do my poll.
No, voice vote's fine.
So
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so the application is deemed complete. Printed them all out. Okay. All right, your application is complete, Fred, you can proceed.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, professionals, Frederick Zeller, stated in the business of this evening. On behalf of the applicants, 51 Burns Avenue Associates LLC and Harriet Manila. This is regarding 51 Burns Avenue, which is lot 1 of the 4 lot 6. 53 Burns Avenue, which is lot 1 of the 4 lot 7. As an application to subdivide which of each of these 2 lots to combine them to remove a total lot that's in the those lots, that's that we contain pre-existing 2-family residences with developed non-conforming uses in the zone. As a result of subdivision, however, as able as indicated, this creates an intensification of that non-conforming use because the lots the shows one is situated small. So in the raspberry case, we need to rebalance areas repeating existing multi-family residences that will be keeping in the area. These homes and first of all, homes in this particular neighborhood predated the 1971 zone change that disallowed multi-family homes in the R510. A couple years ago, many of you remember the controversy about the situation in many applications for restrictive conformities regarding that. But that's one of the areas, this is one of the areas. Now they've been allowed the various homes and others that are discussing in the neighborhood. This is Stevie, Steve Parker, Jonathan Moore, who is one of the partners of Burns Avenue Associates, and a lifetime resident of this neighborhood, and our candidate. Yes.
Just to clarify, as we're into the raspberry situation, you're saying both of these 2-family homes were in existence at a time when they were legal, but subsequently they are now pursuant to zoning now non-conforming. Okay, and I'm assuming they've been in existence since that time. They have not been abandoned. They have not.
We will produce testimony.
Good. All right.
It's not a stipulation on what we are actually proceeding.
Got it. Okay.
So we, just to clarify, there is no zoning permit for the two lots in question at this point to be 2-family homes.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
And it's an interesting question that you're asking it, if the board deems it appropriate.
Certainly, if one of them has to be.
Yeah, it might not do that.
I think there needs to be a D68 component to this application for both sides.
Prepared to give, we'll cover the basis on.
Okay, thank you.
So you're amending the application? Yes. The board, the board feels we take those. Okay, it's true. Is only includes that demonstrates.
I understand, John, but there needs to be, we're mucking around with property lines, we're intensifying the use. There needs to be a proper certificate issued that says that this is a valid 2-family going forward. Without that, the future owner of the property is going to have a problem.
Is there a notice issue?
I was just going to ask you about
I'm
that.
checking that now, people. No, he has, there is a catch-all in the notice that if the board directs a variance, exception, waiver be required, then they will also seek that. So they also have a use variance. If there was no use variance involved and the section 68 popped up, then that might be an issue, but I think we're fine on those.
Okay.
Parker, you're out.
Mark, if you
We need to use the projector so that Mark can see.
you have that look.
Well, I don't have much on copy. What's the laptop with me?
Is there an electronic copy that was submitted with the application? Denise, do you have it?
Is that an exhibit?
This is not an exhibit, these are the plans that were submitted with the application. Just hasn't been marked for season.
If you,
All right, hold on a second.
if you put it over here, Steve.
No.
Well,
Mark,
he may have these plans.
I do, David, I have the hard copies right in front of me,
okay.
I'll follow Stephen as he moves along.
Great.
Okay. With regard to this application, with the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth.
Yes, I do.
Can you just state your name, spell your last name for the record?
Steve Parker, PARK.
Now, Mr. Parker's been here many times. You're qualifying as an engineer,
Yes,
and your license is still good and in effect as we speak.
yes, it is.
It's up to the board. I don't see.
He's tracked, as long as his license is good, he's good. We've interviewed him many times. Welcome.
Parker, would you begin by describing the lots of questions? Yeah, so these, and again, this is the same set of plans that the board, which the board, this is sheet number 2 of the plan set that I have on the easel here. And what this shows is what the proposed subdivision is. On the left-hand side, it shows the 2 existing properties as they are right now, lot 6 and lot 7. They are each about 50 feet wide, about 50 feet deep. It's on the corner of Maple Street and Bernardsville. Each one fronts and Bernardsville. And the proposal of the property, and that is to create a third lot in the back part of these properties. So in other words, right now the properties in the R5 zone, 5,000 square feet is what's required for each lot. Right now, each property is there 7,500 square feet. So we're going to create a third lot that would be 5,000 square feet. So existing lots will reduce to 5,000 square feet each. And the plan is to construct a new home on the rear property on the right hand side of that sheet. It's in a development with homes surrounding the property. There's public utilities. Lots will be completely conserved by public utilities. The new housing will also be served by public utilities, sewer, water, gas. And then new lot will have frontage on Major Street. That'll be the access to the new house. And we're just illustrating on here, what a typical house can look like. That would fit on the property that it is. We don't know exactly what that house is going to look like yet, but it's going to be a conforming home. Conform to the setback requirements, and there's no variance that will be requested for construction of the new home there. The property is relatively flat or level. There's not a lot of topography up here. Staying along the 10% on the property itself, yeah, I think that's all I have. Generally, just Mr. Brandley prepared a letter dated January 18th. We can go through that if that's appropriate this time.
Sure.
So in the letter that's dated January 18th from Mr. Brandley's office, I think the first things are generally just comments. Number 1 indicates the side of the property building that's located in. Comment number 2 is again about the proposal, what's being proposed as far as the subdivision goes. Comment number 3 is regarding some of the variances or non-conformities that are existing on the property. It won't be changing, I believe the plan of the next, weeks, we'll go over all of the non-conformities and variances to the same plan. So I'm gonna skip over that part and just ask you that you can concur with that mathematically, the dimensions that are shown in the text. Yes, correct. Yep. Comment number 4 on T2 of that letter, just is a comment about what's being proposed. And Mr. White recommends a footnote to be added to the table of certain requirements in T2. The plans indicating the non-conforming use, they just, addition, will do that, and agree to do that. On future plans, yes. And all the requested will have to be followed by the regular. No, it's not. So you let's go to the regular later. Nothing in the recommendation later with that's correct. Now that they're all favorable for the application.
So, well, on Mr. Brightly's letter, item 6, item 7. The stormwater management as well as opening the street.
Correct, those will be compliant with. It's a minor stormwater project. So as part of any building permit application, a stormwater management design will be included as part of the application permit. The prior issuance building permit will need to be approved by the engineer who reviewed it. That's number 6. So yes, we agree with complying with that. And then number 7 as well. In order to the streets were recently improved out there. In order to make any cuts to there, that would require approval from council, and we'll do that. So we have to secure that from them in order to make any cuts to the street, which would be for utilities, for water and gas if necessary.
Have you done any testing to make sure that there's nothing for the existing residences that's located in the rear of the property, like dry wells? And is there room for dry wells in this third lot that you're constructing? You're proposing to construct?
Yeah, we haven't done any testing out there, so I can't speak to that. But there is room certainly on the property, either in the front yard or the backyard, split. So put some in the front of the driveway if you have to. So there is room for dry wells or some other stormwater management item to fit that on the property. But yeah, I don't know if there's any. It looks staging. I haven't done any test pits or exploring that.
And do we know if the existing residences have any underground facilities out there? Like a dry well for the existing residences?
You know, I don't know. We can look at that.
I do too. But it's a question that needs to be asked.
We can look into that. Investigate that. There is a lot of test that more like the guys to do that are possibly condition that by the board to address that.
Okay.
Well, I would imagine to the construction department, not construction, yes. Oh, that's not for the board.
Finding it a construction. Any other questions from other members of the board? Any questions from members of the audience?
You are the understood.
I know, but I have to ask. Mark, did you?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay.
If you could raise your right hand, please, and you're up here. With regard to this application, do you swear the testimony that you're about to give shall be the truth? So, state your name, spell your last name, please.
John Fenimore, Edison Frank, ENI.
Thank you.
Furthermore, you're a partner or member of the 51 Bernards Avenue Associates. That's correct. And who are your other partners? My brother, Dr. Brook. And when did you or when did the LLC purchase the phone? Approximately 10 years with property getting in. And for the record, we refer to 51 Bernards Avenue. Yes. And you also have personal knowledge of Lot 7 in the store. I do. I have you have that knowledge. I grew up in this, I think we live in so. I'm going with that. And are you familiar with the other homes in the neighborhood, specifically whether they are multifamily versus single family? Yes, lot 7, as noted on the map, has been in existence ever since I grew up here. Used to go to the Second City Virginia family, and there's the I deal with mail just going to school. So we kind of know this neighborhood. That's not 7, yes, one of the 7. That's the number of the house. Yes. And how about lot 6? Is all oh yeah, forever. Little this house is over 110 with all of it. And are they both 2 families, 3 families? They're both 2 families. One time, one 3 families, but now.
Roughly when was it? Was that prior to the zone change? Or was it 71 or?
I think it was after. I'm certain.
So with 3 and then back to 2?
Yes.
But never so one.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had relatives who lived in somewhere at one time upstairs.
And as we are here this evening, they continue to be 2 families, and that has not been abandoned.
Never. Continuously occupied.
There, what we had intended to do, I forget. We did want to show this as considered colorized version of the park with 14. And we've highlighted the other homes in the neighborhood that are in fact multi-families. So I can, if there's no way to put this up on the screen, it's advanced if I want to read through which ones they were.
If you, as long as it's not multiple sheets, you can have it to me, I can display it.
This is colorized?
Yeah,
I see, yeah, yeah, we're gonna have to, we'll mark that.
Our planner did take a picture, so we should.
Sure. If you can get it.
Fred, you gonna bring this in under Ms. McManus or under John Feldmark's testimony?
Under Mr. Fedwell's.
Can I ask just a clarifying question while we're taking pictures and email and stuff? So where does Mario Manella fit into this?
He's the owner of lot 7, and he's got a medical issue.
So is the owner fit? Is he part of 51?
No. No.
There's 2 applicants.
There's 2 applicants. Okay, so they're making a joint application separately to create the back.
Yes.
Lot. Okay, got it. Thank you.
And Mr. Fedwell's testimony is intended to cover both companies.
I'm caught up with
Is this back lot 1 family?
Put the juice in this.
They're both 2 family homes. Side by, they're both 150 feet deep. So the proposal is to lock off the bottom 50 feet, join it to the other lot, and create a conforming lot.
or a single family.
Yes.
That was your question.
I already heard there were no variances being requested for that third lot. Right.
Now,
And sorry, I thought it was called, but the new lot would be owned by 51 Bernards Avenue.
Really, initially, both men and 51 Bernards Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they got it. Okay. We're very important.
so we're gonna mark this A1 and let's call it a colorized radius map. Is that good?
Can you see that, Mark?
Not yet.
Beats me.
Well, it's sideways, but okay, okay.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. Just look at it sideways, Mark. Because that, everybody here's got our head tilted.
Yeah, I see why you have to tilt your head.
Okay, let's just go with what we got.
Let's. So, based upon the image that's on the screen, it'll be yellow home at the very bottom, so it's 65, so it's there.
Move.
Yeah. The defendant testified that the two lots, two marks, TQ in the center of the.
I'm sorry. We're gonna have to keep it like this.
It's okay, it's fair. So we'll start with the lot, which, and I'll try to cross them. So the screen is this block. And so what I'd like you to do, first of all, just to indicate to the board, the homes that are highlighted in yellow on this exhibit are homes that you have personal knowledge are multi-family. Is that correct? That is correct. And your personal knowledge, they in fact have been multi-family since before 1970. That is correct. So let's just go through them again. So I hard copy for you on the stripes. Created since it's 6 o'clock. And so it's 2 or 3. And how large is that one? 22. Seems to be conforming a lot. But if it shows up with my cost, then it's 150 feet deep. So we have on the exhibit 0.17, that's the active. Yes. Let's go clockwise now, so we're up to about 3 o'clock. Yes, probably directly across the street on where it's at. So there's a 3-family, 2 upstairs and 1 next to a upholstery shop and a little newspaper store. So there's a 2 commercials now as well. Correct, that's my. Yes, my. And then skipping over lot 7, and we go to block 114, lot 6, that's a 2-family. Adjoining that on lot 5, that's also a multi-family. On lot 4 is another multi-family.
Wait, we're losing it because we're looking at the.
We'll stick on, where is that? For the record, we have gone from 3 o'clock all the way to 11. On the wall.
On the same side of the street.
Yes.
Okay.
All the way to 11.
You're saying 3, but you mean 9.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
The only one I didn't hear clearly was Bernards Avenue, lot 7. Was that a 2-family as well?
No.
That's single?
The 2-family.
No.
No.
Okay, thank you.
So you got a 3-family, then a 2-family going up, and then a 2-family and a 2-family?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so crossing back over Bernards Avenue, which would be 12 on the wall. No, the 2-family is 4 road, Bernards Avenue. Another Grove Street. Lot 2, that's a 2-family up in there. Yeah. There may have in this, that's okay. And then there's another indicated in lot 5. as I recall, delivering that many years ago. Almost everybody had to do it with that at all. We delivered mail for 4 years at the school.
Also, we'll talk about the three properties surrounding the subject, actually two of them. So lot 8
There's actually 2 homes. That's the old, what kind of step. Back there.
so this structure is either one of them single family?
I don't know. One more, see if this would be a 2-family. And then I got a home in the back. Definitely.
That's in the supplemental.
Yeah, the homes are not there.
But is the rear structure into the supplemental?
Yes.
So we have a minimum of 3 back lot. And if you put it down on 5 on the Maple Street, which would be adjacent to the 2.
Yeah, that's a home that used to be, well, there was a grocery store on the bottom floor and a residence on top. And now the grocery store is over there.
I want to read some of the questions asked by the board earlier. I think that oil science has to be their class 60%. You know, then
You know, Shimon, there are not. My grandfather converted to coal. Then we went to oil tanks off grid in the basement.
and that would be for lot 6. 51 various.
Yes.
And you know about Sweet property.
I am not aware of any underground tanks where the field. I don't think it would be.
And public water, if you know wells for that. Do you have any reason to believe that you know for the fact that it's not dry wells or the leaders and that kind of thing?
I am not aware of any dry wells that have been on the property many years.
And on behalf of the applicants, the agreement condition that any such facilities were discovered in the 14th part of the new lot, that they would be properly removed.
Of course.
What was the parking situation in both the lot?
It is, I believe we could get good call. Into what I had seen. And we know.
And you also just walk the garage. We are proposing one car garage, 50 foot by the same height.
That's not.
Is it, would it be part of the house or would it be a separate structure?
It was probably.
Maybe you were committed to the board, but you're not street parking.
No, that's not.
How was parking here that now is existing?
We allow one parking space to each tenant.
There are no actual driveways for either one of these.
There is a ton between the 2 lots, but we really don't make use of that. No one wants. In fact, someone used to park in one of the tenants from Manila and the fire department in that because.
And has there been any issue historically with having places for the tenants to be parked?
No, they told them away, you've got 1 space. And we abide.
Nothing further from Mr. Fenimore.
Clarification, you're not intending to build anything, we're just looking for the subdivision.
Yeah, I have no.
Somebody else will build it, and presumably they need a variance, so it'll be in front of us.
If they don't need anything, they build it. If they do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know where the septic was for those houses? The existing house, yeah. If they were built 100 years ago,
Yeah, I am not aware of any septic pits on the property.
property. They may have had them at some time. And so my mother was born. And I don't know when the city sewers came to run that. Never heard any talk about any septic systems being uncovered, no well being uncovered. The only thing back there was a garden in every property.
So you may find them later.
It's pretty far, but it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, way back when, it probably had a well too. 100 years
It's
ago,
all possible.
100 years ago, Lord knows.
All I know is
Okay,
84 years
okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Bob does.
Yes.
Yeah. There's the problem parking in the area where you're opening.
Yeah.
Is that used for any of the tenants?
No, the tenant asked if he could do that. I said, so it's well. If the town ever wants you to move it, it's gonna be moved. So it's not part of the lease. It's as a courtesy. That's all. And if we have to move it over, completely, we could, we would.
So you can park there now.
Yeah, yeah, one of the tenants does. Or this shop. But again, it has to be moved, it will be.
But it will be on the new lot.
Yeah. Well, we would move it off.
I'm confused.
So it would either be removed, or be located onto 6.0.
There's somebody that parks a truck.
He's a tenant. It's not part of his lease. This was he asked if we would allow it as a courtesy. And he was informed, so whatever has to be moved, relocated, it would be.
Commercial. Where is the truck being parked now?
On that stone park.
So if you look at the,
Back to 6.
to the left-hand side, where it shows existing conditions, there's a little gravel area. It's going to the back of lot 6. As it gets gravel. I think that's where we're talking about the area, we're talking about 3.
And how does the existing tenant get to that spot? Does it drive in off of Maple?
He does.
So it's a gravel area.
Okay.
And that's the issue with the proposed new lot, so we have to be relocated. You remove entirely, then you're on 6 levels. You would have to remove, correct, because that's right where the driveway from being home.
Okay. So we need to talk about impervious then on
Lot 6.
lot 6. Is if that were to get moved and stay on existing lot 6, do you still comply with impervious?
Or we can commit to not installing it.
As I said, this allows courtesy. It has to be removed. It's gonna be removed.
Okay. So where is he going to park the truck?
That's his problem.
Well,
That wasn't part of
so the tenant is allowed one parking place in front of the house.
And as a courtesy, it's allowed for in the gravel area in back that he installed.
So that's where you shall have to park either his van in a different place or whatever.
Yes.
Front space is.
Just like he did before he found 51 grams of.
So we don't have to worry about the gravel spot. It's gonna. Okay.
Gary by. But not the
Could Mr. Fenimore explain what's in Lot 5 dwelling would be to the rear of the new proposed lot? What is in that dwelling? I believe he said it was a store and then an apartment over the top.
There was an apartment upstairs during the time the store was there. And now there's no commercial establishment.
residential, I believe, the two family.
So there's a 2-family upstairs, commercial downstairs, that's what you're saying?
No,
Commercial drive.
So you believe there's a family downstairs and a family upstairs.
I did.
Okay. So another two-family. Okay.
But you have no evidence to support that.
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
It is definitely residential.
Okay.
And the other question was, have the applicants spoken to the owners, the Agneses, Eduardo and Alicia, about what's going to happen potentially to their side yard there?
I've never heard from them. I've never spoken with them ever about anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Has everyone been properly noticed as part of the application?
Yep. We said it was fine. Anything else, Bob? Oh, okay. All right, just because I asked, okay.
If you spend one. Is McManus.
Raise your right hand, please. With regard to this application, can you swear the testimony you're about to give subject to? State your name and spell your last name, please.
My name is Elizabeth McManus, MCM-US.
Thank you. Chief,
Business address.
It's municipal Kyle McManus Associates for Hopewell Borough and 2 East Broad Street.
And you're a licensed professional planner in the state of New Jersey, is that correct?
Yes,
How long have you been so?
since approximately 15 years.
And have you been before this school?
No, I've been ordinance municipality.
And approximately how many doors have you been found?
Approximately 3 dozen, please.
And are you also special master and things along those lines?
Yes, I serve as special master for affordable housing cases in the state for municipalities.
And are you business planner?
Yes, I spend a lot of time doing municipal planning in places, including Asbury Park, Lawrence Township, and Chicago, also Flemington, and other municipalities.
And the licenses in good standings.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, this McManus be accepted as a professional planner.
Accepted.
Have you analyzed this proposal and
All right. All right, folks, so, we need, if you look at the application, we need a handful, several variances, but I think that the story here, the proposal is actually much more simple and straightforward than the list of variances suggests. Ultimately, we need G2 use variance relief in order to permit subdivision of our 2 existing 2-family homes in order to provide additional lot area for construction of 1 new single-family home. Our D2 use variance, as we heard from the planner this evening, is as a result of some case law that states that anytime you have an existing non-conforming use, there's a reduction in lot size that's technically and literally an intended stipulation. We go all first and the use variance criteria for that variance. Our second set of variances, if you will, is a variety of bulk variances or C variances. Every single one of them is related to the existing 2 structures on the property, so existing setbacks, none of which are created or exacerbated by our application. And so those variances, those non-conforming conditions exist regardless of what application might be before the city. So first, starting with the D2 variance, this is, of course, the use variance to permit the 2 single-family homes on smaller lots. And just as a quick reminder, those 2 smaller lots are in fact fully conforming. They're both 5,000 square feet. They have the they need minimum lot width requirements, etc. So the lot configurations are conforming. Again, it's those setback variances that I'll address as part of C variances in a moment. And we've heard from our applicants, there are existing non-conforming uses that have been in place well before 1975. But notwithstanding that existing condition, the criteria that the board should consider this evening is whether or not our property is suited to the expansion or the intensification, as well as any special reasons. But one thing I want to highlight is that the board does not need to find that the use variance could be permitted in the first instance, in the sense that you don't need to find that two-family homes could be created, could be approved as if they were not there today. The board should recognize their existence. And so in terms of the particular suitability, I think there are a handful of reasons why the board can make those findings. So as I said at the outset, first and foremost, our proposed lots, the subdivided lots, are conforming. We have minimum lot size, lots, lot width, etc. on the property. And so as part of that, as well as the character of the area, what this means is that there's no change of view of these two existing homes from what I would say is the primary frontage along Bernards Avenue. Those two existing homes will look the same today as they do tomorrow or next year after the subdivision and the new home in the rear is constructed. Also, along those same lines, this is not going to result in any type of disruption to the rhythm of homes or the rhythm of buildings that we see along Bernards Avenue. It will simply have that same rhythm, have that same appearance today as well as in the future. And the other thing that I want to highlight is some of the testimony that we just went through about, I'm sorry, I don't recall the exhibit, but anyone, about this exhibit where we have a variety of similar buildings in the area in the sense that existing non-conforming uses, so 2+ family homes in the surrounding area. And so while we're looking for the expansion of that non-conforming use, again, it has no impact on the character of this area of Bernardsville. And so in addition to being particularly suited for this intensification, I think the board can also consider 3 purposes of the municipal land use law as special reasons. The first is purpose E, which is to promote the establishment of appropriate population densities and concentrations that will contribute to the well-being of persons, neighborhoods, communities, and regions, and preservation of the environment. Also, purpose G, which is to provide sufficient space and appropriate locations for a variety of uses, including residential, according to their respective environmental requirements in order to meet the needs of all citizens. And then purpose M, which is to encourage coordination of the various public and private procedures and activities shaping land development with a view of lessening the cost of such development and to more efficient use of land. And I cited these 3 purposes for several reasons. So first and foremost, as I said before, this proposal is simply consistent with the character of the area, but also the density and concentration of population in this area. And I say that because, again, this additional unit, which is in fact.
Hey, Dick, do we need break for you? Dick?
Yeah.
Do we need to take a break for you? Okay, I would take a break. Yeah, let's take a 10-minute break. Thank you. Yeah, sure. There you go. Okay. All right. Thank you.
We still have Mark.
We still have Mark. I see him. I hear him. Thank you.
Okay. So let me just quickly measure the last 5 seconds. 1 minute. There were 3 purposes in the land use law. Purpose B, to establish appropriate population concentrations. Purpose G, to provide sufficient space and appropriate locations for residential and other uses according to respective environmental requirements. And purpose M, to encourage coordination of public and private procedures, to lessen the cost of development and for a more efficient use of land. Each of these three purposes are applicable to the proposal that we have this evening. Starting with, again, we are not proposing to disrupt character or the concentration of or density of population in the area with just simply the addition of the new single family home or through the subdivision of the two existing single family homes. And one of the things that we've heard from Exhibit A1 is, and let me just put some numbers to this exhibit. We have.
Excuse me, you said subdivision of the existing single family homes.
I'm sorry, I meant the two family homes.
Okay.
The two family homes. So on this exhibit A1, we have 10 lots that are highlighted as being two or more family homes. Those 10 lots represent are 10 of the 35 properties that are within the 200 foot. This is what you can see highlighted in the dark and black circle on this property. And so that means that approximately 29% of the lots within our 200 foot radius are in fact two or more family homes. And I think that's important for considering that we are continuing this appropriate density, concentration, sufficient space, etc. But in addition to that very immediate residential character, I also want to highlight some of the ways that these purposes are advanced as we think about the larger area. So this property is approximately half a mile from walking distance here downtown. And so while it's only one additional home, I do think it's important to highlight the fact that we are having population, we're having another household within easy and convenient walking and biking distance of the downtown, frankly, not to mention the commercial uses that are adjacent to the property as well. But I think more importantly, the downtown of Bernardsville. And so we're going to be adding a little bit of additional economic support. Sometimes folks refer to that as walking wallets. I think it's sort of a fun way to think about additional folks with discretionary cash to help support your downtown. Along those lines, we're also adding another household, a little bit of additional population within walking and biking distance, convenient distance of the train station. And so we're better facilitating housing of one of the locations that really makes the most sense, not only in this municipality, in the county, but also in the state. And that is households that can walk and bike to train stations, as well as households that can walk and bike to downtowns. All of this resulting in, of course, a little bit of additional support for your downtown, and also the potential for reduced vehicle miles traveled or reduced driving, as folks can get to places on foot, on bike, and also using that train, the train stop here in town. Additionally, I want to highlight that there are no environmental constraints on the property. We have committed to complying with the items in your engineer's letter to provide the stormwater management permit or management review. That would be a condition of any approval that the board may grant. I also want to highlight that we are below the maximum impervious cover on these properties. We're subject to a 17% proposal, 17% maximum. We are proposing 9% for the new lots and approximately 13 and 15% respectively for the two lots, the two existing two-family homes. And so in each of these cases, we're well above your maximum impervious cover, suggesting that there's no substantial environmental impact, as well as being consistent with the environmental requirements for the site. And then, of course, all of these reasons, I think, also support the efficiency of land use, essentially being able to accommodate additional developments through the subdivision in a place that's consistent with the character, the density, concentration of populations, and the ability to do so in such close proximity to your downtown, as well as the train station, and again, to be able to do all of them while meeting stormwater management, as well as impervious cover requirements, as well as providing parking for the new home located along the Maple Avenue. And so for these reasons, I think the board can find that we're satisfying purposes E, Q, and M through the D2 variance application. Before I get to the negative criteria, I want to take a moment to address the C variances that are necessary. As I said at the beginning, there are a variety of C variances that we think all these are C1 or hardship variance. And I say that because these are all existing conditions based on existing setbacks of the structures that are not created or exacerbated by the proposed subdivision. So, for example, there's no rear yard variance, there's no impervious cover variance that we're seeking. And then for the sake of the record, let me run through what these are. So I'm going to start with lot 6.02, that is the new lot. There are no variances. Lot 6.01, which is the corner lot. There is a front yard setback variance along Berners. We have 14.5 feet versus the 30 feet that are required. We also have front yard setback along Maple. We have 3.6 feet compared to the 15 feet that is required. We also have side yard setback variances. One side yard is required a minimum of 7 feet. We have 3.5 feet. The total side yards are required to be 14 feet. Again, we have 3.5 feet. We also require relief for accessory structures. One side yard is at 4.8 feet versus the 7 feet required. And then we have accessory structure distance to a principal building. We have 5.9 feet compared to 10 feet that is required. We have another 3 variances for lot 7, which is the other 2-family lot, the interior lot, if you will. We require relief from the front yard setback along Berners. We have 14.2 feet compared to the 30 feet that is required. And then again, we have side yard setback variances with one side yard being 2.6 feet compared to the 7 feet that is required, and the total being 7.4 feet compared to the 14 feet that is required. And so it's 9 C variances, but again, all of these are existing conditions. As I said, I think that each of these can be justified under the C1 variance criteria. It is those existing structures, it is the existing lot lines that are the unique physical features on the property that are creating the non-conformity. And I do want to note that there's no open space that you might be able to pull from, say, an adjacent lot that would rectify any one or even much less all of those variances. And so for those reasons, I do think that the board can find that there's hardship for these existing non-conforming conditions. And then the last category that I want to testify this evening is for the negative criteria covering both the D variance as well as the C variances. I thought I would combine those for C50 sake. And let's start with the zone plan. There's a 2020 land use element that I reviewed how to see relevant policies for this particular application. I do see in your 2017 re-examination report, there were goals that had been reaffirmed from your 2000 master plan. And there are 2 of those that I think are supportive of the application. The first is to preserve the residential and the character of the community. Second is to protect Bernardsville residents and their property from negative environmental, financial, and other impacts of development. I think both of these are consistent or supported by our application because the subdivision, which ultimately facilitates the infill lot of single-family home, is consistent with the resident buildings that we see along Berners Avenue. It is also consistent with the concentration and the pattern of development that we see within this larger area. And so we're preserving this existing character of the community despite the fact that we're adding one additional lot. I also wanted to highlight some of the policies set forth in your 2020 re-examination report. Now that document is principally concerned with making changes to your downtown zoning districts in order to really revitalize and promote the downtown. And so while our property in the R5 district is not subject to that re-examination report and the zone changes, I still think that the policy here The policy there in that document is supportive of the general concept of what we're doing, which is to, let me say that some of the policies that in there are to promote the downtown as the commercial and civic center of Bernardsville, to create a pedestrian-friendly atmosphere in downtown. And then it goes on to state that the current land use plan and zoning ordinance lacks specific tools to address emerging issues facing the borough's downtown and commercial districts that render the downtown at a distinct disadvantage to current market trends and as contribute to the downtown's decline, as evidenced by commercial vacancy rate. And I wanted to highlight that because even though we're proposing just one additional household, it's going to be part of that effort of having more walking wallets, having more population density that can easily, quickly, conveniently get to your downtown. Here's as a side note again, to be able to do so actually on foot or on bicycle rather than getting in your car. And so while the 2020 raise now is it's not addressing this area of town, I do think that the additional density of even just one unit is helpful in promoting your downtown and helping add folks that are going to visit downtown and help promote your commercial uses there. And so for the reasons I cited in 2017 raise down, I think we support your purposes, ample of these purposes of your master plan. And I think we're also generally supportive of what your 2020 re-examination report was trying to achieve. And so for those reasons, I think the board can find that there's no substantial detriment to the zoning plan. Because as I said, there are actually parts of your master plan that we regret. And then the last piece of the negative criteria is, of course, whether there's any substantial detriment to the public good. And I would offer that I don't see any detriment as a result of this application, much less any substantial detriment. And I think that because, again, the addition of this one new single-family house, the new house is of permitted use, it is fully conforming. The intensification of that two-family home will not result in any visible distance difference to the primary frontage, which is Bernards Avenue. It will not disrupt the rhythm of the street, the buildings along the street. Also won't disrupt the population and concentration of homes that we see in this general neighborhood. In addition to that, we're going to mitigate any potential environmental impact through compliance with the stormwater management rules, as well as staying well under your maximum impervious cover. And then the last thing I wanted to highlight is I think that this is really a natural addition to the neighborhood. And I say that in part because we have conforming lot sizes in each of the three cases, but also as you look at exhibit A1, in fact, you can even see that the lots in this area are not quite the cookie cutter that you tend to see in suburban areas. It's much more of an organic neighborhood composition. And I think that our new lot, our subdivision, will really fit very well within this overall character that you see in this area of the Burns Avenue. And so with that, I think we'll find that there's no substantial detriment to public good. I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Go ahead.
In your professional opinion as a planner, we rushed on section 68.
Sorry, I didn't know about that too.
I just wanted to get on the record for the based on what we heard, that what's been going on there since 1971 fits in and complies with the section 68 criteria in terms of consistent use, no abandonment. It's been there for 50 years, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no testimony that you heard this evening. I can feel comfortable, and I would recommend that the board find that some people found components pursuant to that section. It includes the properties that exist as two-family homes well beyond 1971.
Just for the record, if anyone contemplating this to appeal or fear, would you also believe that the non-conformity could be subsumed under its use?
Yes, I believe I've seen that situation in several other applications that I've participated in, either as a or professional or as perhaps as an applicant, but most of is yes.
So you testified to the 17 and 19% impervious coverages on the two lots. Did you do those calculations?
No, I was doing the impervious cover calculations on the streets.
So Mr. Parker didn't testify to them.
No, but they, I appreciate that. You can find that information at the bottom of sheet 2 of 2. And that was, as the information I used in my testimony.
Those are, you're allowed 17% of the allowable impervious coverage to be required. Boroughs are regulated government by percentage based on the size of the lot. Driveway. Setback. 70% of the maximum, 70% of your maximum need for this department gets the record just allow we are complying. Even with the new sizes, 7 and 6.0 was. Yes, that's correct.
You agree, Bob?
Yes, so what you have properties that have small home lot. 14 and a half feet from road, so. But are complying. Also allowed purpose comes 15%.
It's the amount of coverage that's in the front yard.
The amount of the allowable that's in the front yard.
Okay. The amount of the allowable. It's not the amount of the coverage, it's the amount of the allowable.
So they're under, I think, they're going to be active subdivision. 57 square feet is allowed. 601, so we're needing guys in front.
Okay. But the reduction in size of the lot does not, it's not going to push them over the amount of allowable impervious.
No.
After the lot size reduction, they will still comply with the impervious coverage. Okay.
So it's clear, they're not covering 17%.
Okay. Thank you. The other thing that you testified to was a 15-foot setback on Maple Avenue for lot 6.01. Are you sure about that number?
Apologize for this using foot requirement.
That's what you said, I believe.
It is, yeah.
Why do you think it's 15 feet, not 35?
Yeah, I believe that's, because it's a corner line, I believe that the ordinance allows for that 15 feet.
Also allows for new buildings making more than the average of such regular setbacks. Provided,
You know, testing that. Correct. They're a corner lot. That's right, 15 feet would be on longer.
Okay.
30 hours, 15 on.
Okay. And I believe I heard testimony about parking that was formerly between the two houses that the fire department didn't like. Is there?
Mr. Fenton, want to elaborate on that?
Well, my question really is related to the impervious cover that's there. Because it's been driven on.
Just represent the town for you.
I would say no, it's not, because I don't believe we counted for the parking between the houses. Or along the common line between lots 6 and 7. That's not shown on the plans here, so I would say we did not do that as part of the package.
Okay.
I don't think that common driveway is wrong. We're going to have to set back 4.8.
I agree, you can't have a driveway there, but it says parked on it, therefore it is impervious.
Somehow they got a car in there.
In the thing between that, it was used as a parking area when our survey crew was out there. So we can call it a parking area. I mean, if it looks like you wanted, we certainly would have done that, but I would say, I don't know how long it's been abandoned. But it appears to our survey guys that it's just landscaping them on it.
Chairman, if the board is concerned with that issue, we have no problem with a condition that I've always said we always consent to comply with the law. So if we're going to stay within the impervious coverage requirements, if somehow that maintained as a gravel area would run afoul of that, we would agree as a condition to remove it, replace it with something.
Well, if the fire company doesn't want any parking there, I would suggest you probably want to take the gravel out of there if it's there and make it pervious again.
And a fence.
What about segregating the rear yards? Is there going to be anything back there in the back of the two existing lots to separate them from the new third lots?
You haven't proposed anything.
Certainly like a fence, something like that.
Why would that be? Why would that be necessary? If I mean, honestly, that would be a requirement.
Because you're intensifying the use.
Yeah, you have young kids in the rentals now. I mean, they think they have a big backyard.
You're talking before the new home is built, while it's just still an area.
At some point, there's a third house that's going to be there. You plan on just having a large shared backyard.
It's when you technically be shared, unless the
Well,
folks wanted it to be.
I mean,
We don't typically have fences as well.
okay, just asking a question. Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Will there be any restrictions put on the reconfigured lot 6.01 with regards to not allowing any driveways coming in from Maple Street? Oh, I know he's gonna move that gravel lot. I know he's gonna move that gravel lot and all that, but I'm saying, will the backyard, let's use just an example, will it be just grass? And in the future, let's say 2 years from now, when there might be a separate tenant in there, they just decide to start parking in there. So in other words, could there be some, because it's done now, it was done as a convenience or favor for the tenant, could there be something in there preventing down the road, who's going to be policing this, that no one could be actually parking in that backyard because you are right there on Maple Street? I'm not worried about lot 7 because you can't get to it, but lot 601 I am.
The reason that would be problematic here would probably be a coverage issue, which will be enforceable by your zoning officer. I haven't heard any indication from any of your professionals or anyone else that having a driveway in and of itself is violent of anything. But if it were, again, your zoning officer would have the authority to put stop to that if that were the case. We're not proposing to put a driveway.
I was just looking into the future there where something naturally morphed into a need, especially you have a 2-family house with only restricted 1 car per family. It naturally made itself into it, like we didn't do it. The need presented itself because of the convenience coming from Maple. That's my concern. Who's going to be policing that backyard that it stays lawn as opposed to making it another parking space?
If the board wishes to impose a condition that such a space not be created, that can certainly be a condition of approval. Again, it would be enforceable by your zoning enforcement staff.
Okay, thank you for that.
No, it's the back, it's basically moving the gravel lot. Any other, Bob?
Question, the two existing homes, the two canyon homes, how many bedrooms are?
Three on each side, three on each side, and I'll drop two of them. Here, three, rooms.
Mr. Fenimore, I do have one question for you. Is there any hard evidence that we can put on the record for the fact that these two families have existed prior to 1971?
I grew up there.
That's one of them. But is there,
My mother was born there, went for it. He started living with the former zoning official, indicated those facts, and he was happy with that.
Is your testimony about the other homes that are multifamily in the area based upon your personal observations from the standpoint?
Personal observations, delivering mail to the facilities.
so is this situation with your mother signing an affidavit? Is this where Jeff Price was sending out letters?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was easy for us actually to get the system over that. When he saw there's two front doors, two back doors, two basement doors, he was satisfied with everything else. It was home, he did design.
And did he do the same thing for the property next door as well?
I believe he did. He said, Mario now converted it from 3-family to 2-family. But it had always been.
Yeah, okay. All right. I just want to make sure if we granted B68 that we have evidence on the record for that. That's all. Okay. John, yeah.
I want to go to the exhibit. I looked at the exhibit. We talked about the my observation, to clarify this, is that a lot of them damage on similar lots of families. We just create two small family lots in the neighborhood. That analysis to look at the relative density.
We did not review the lot sizes of the individual homes in this area to confirm or to determine.
I think what's important in size of very small families is that's it's on. And quite frankly, going by the change zone will create zones exactly the same, so they're all not forming to some extent. So I was just relate to that because it seems to be the smallest box.
So it's a couple things. One, first, part of my testimony is about the presence of the additional lots in the area. I think I'm not constructing the character of really the mix of 1, 2, and to lesser extent, 3-family, if there's potentially maybe 4-family home, but I would say the 1, 2, and 3 families. And so we are not at a character from that perspective of having this mix of residential types. From the question that you asked about the area. I would think that there are a variety of lots here that are noted as being let's see, 0.17 acres. And I just want to highlight those are directly to the rear, lot 5, directly to the west, lot 8. Also, at the corner of Brook and Burns, catty corner from us on lot 6, and to the east on the other side of the lot intersection on lot 10. And there's a property that is 0.18 acres to the north along Mine Avenue. And as I look at these properties, I would say that they appear, they're noted as being 0.17 acres. Furthermore, the lot lines on this map don't appear to be particularly dissimilar to our proposed, our proposed, as well as our existing lots. And so I appreciate your point about some of the differences in the lot areas in this neighborhood. I do think that the testimony stands in the sense that the rhythm of lots, in the sense that these two homes, as while their lot areas will go down in size as the rear is subdivided, the lot width and their perceived size from what I view as the primary frontage on Berners Avenue will not change as a result of that. Their setbacks remain the same. The scale of the building will not change in terms of proportion to the lot.
This is I want to found this sketch. That's right.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, good.
Who said this without identifying the areas? You don't even hear from me. Again, for all the reasons that is expressed, we would say 5 lot. But for people that has to be on the back surface, we comply all the way around, at least as an existing non-conforming use. I'm not going to get into the said, a lot of if they're conforming, the values of both areas, even though there are multiples of them, again, they're not being exacerbated in any way, it's not being created by what we're specifying. Those reasons we would ask them to approve it. Thank you for your business.
So any issue with conditions on no parking off Maple for lot 6.01 as a condition of the variance? You can bring that up to the south or what? Well, I think that we do get a say in it because already they're reducing the size of the yard. And you put parking in there, the yard becomes non-existent. And that would be an intensification for a two-family home. If kids are in there, there's no play space. And they're playing in the street.
Well, there's a lot of houses where I have a little out in the area that's like up in that area. I still have property. There's a lot of lots that are not more than 100 feet. I think the lot you live on, God, I don't think you're 100 feet. You're 50 by 100 there. 2 blocks away. Yeah, see, I know that built code.
Yeah, no, I can. Yeah, I get it. But I wouldn't, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't want to see the rear yard go away. I think that's the wrong thing to do. When you're intensifying the non-conformance, I wouldn't want to see the yard go away. And we like our yards in Bernardsville, that's no issue. I can do it in the dark.
I just find it's a way of to relieve the temptation, and I don't think it's a big ask, especially when you took 25–30% of the rear yard to put another structure there to at least assure that the backyards of 7 and 6.01 at least stay green and an area for kids, if there are kids, to play safely. Now, I don't think it's a big ask because you know that because it's done currently. So you know in the future that could be temptation on Maple Street to park in that backyard.
Yeah. And this way, instead of just saying no because they're a mean landlord, they can say no because the town said no. So is there any issue with that as a condition?
No, I think we should already stipulate that. That's fine.
Just confirm. Okay. All right. At this point, what have you heard for anything?
I had, some of the conditions that I had, in addition to what we've been discussing, are normal conditions, reliance on the reports, confirming or conforming with the requirements and suggestions of the reports. If there's any underground tanks or structures on the proposed new lot, they would be taken care of as part of the environmental. Now, if needed, no street parking for the new lot, park on the property. I think we have one, I may need some clarification. There was a truck park in between the two current houses. That's gonna be removed and replaced with pervious material.
Yeah, it's great. Take it.
No.
Yeah, there's no parking between the houses. If there's any structural stuff there, gravel, whatever, get rid of it.
Got it. And what we were talking about, I guess the best way to phrase it would be that there's no parking off of Maple Street for the new lot, correct? Is that what we're talking about?
No, it's for lots 6.01
6.01.
would not have a driveway on Maple Street.
You should have to comply with RSI's parking.
Okay.
Hang on,
So we're already saying the new lot is 6.02.
Mm-hmm. And then the gravel out between the houses. Okay, I had that before. That's what I had in addition to our. When I draft the resolution, I'll forward it to you, Bob, and Don, just for comments. Just so we're okay, use the right language. Okay.
Any other comments, any deliberation by the board?
5 votes will be required at 7 because of the use.
Oh, we only had 6. No.
Not really 7.
Oh, Mark, that's right, Mark. Mark.
In here.
I didn't see your face. We got a chart up on the screen.
Whoever.
Yeah, you can make a motion.
application. Is certainly let's say forward. That we approve it.
And we grant the D68. And we grant the D68, pre-existing non-conforming.
Is they gonna build a new house? You're gonna build a new house?
Oh, I think we have a trouble.
Okay, granted, plus section 68.
And I second.
Okay.
Mr. Delarusa,
Yes.
Mr. Graham,
Yes.
Ms. Kramer,
Yes.
Mr. Dowd,
Yes.
Slocum,
Yes.
and Mr. Malilla.
Yes.
Does Jeff get the vote?
Check votes too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Everybody votes.
Sorry. Because I had you. And Mr. Dowd.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Got it. Got it.
Yes, please.
And where's my?
Oh. What? Yeah. All right, stop with the cannolis.
My favorite.
All right.
You like one and all.
Okay, you have bills to pay. Who wants his money? So we have a bill list. Once. Okay, so I got two different bill lists here.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for last month, it was.
Probably, but they're both dated 1/16. One, well, no, I've got one printed landscape and one printed portrait.
I'll take that.
And the one thing I noticed was the bill for Johnville Burgess for McGowan Skies went from 640 to 960.
Because, okay. One of the announcements is incorrect.
Okay,
One of them was typo, and so the second one was the correction.
that could be. I think I brought both. And yeah, one I printed from the first one, and one I printed from the 15th, 16th, and one I printed from today.
What I'm looking at, that's like, 24.
Okay,
But it does say 960.
okay. Is the total 4,035?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
And 50. And that's the one that you made a motion to approve. It is.
I'm not doubting that you have that. I'm not doubting. Right, yeah, that's all.
It was Miguel Shy. Invoice number 43638. Yeah, it was 960, the first one was typo.
Yeah, so I've got the right amount, but I obviously printed this before you. And then there was a correction online to change the date.
Yes.
That's all. Okay.
And I'll second this motion.
Wait, I'm sorry, who made?
So,
Back to. And Mr. McDowell said,
Yes.
yes. Roll call, please.
Mr. Delarissa.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. McDowell,
Yes.
Solomon,
Yes.
Mr. Slocum,
Yes.
and Mr. Malilla.
Yes,
Both the Paris, thank you.
Good. Oh, here's one for like 50 bird stuff. To the bottom of the pile. I know I printed. I know I looked at it. Okay. And what I do, I think we're done with the agenda now. Yep. We have upcoming applications. Is there anything that you have scheduled for the second meeting in February?
I assumed it was simple. User application. But they said that they want to make some revisions.
Okay. You're I was supposed to want to put some open fans. That would be scary.
very.
So let's reach out to Liberty Farm Dogs and see if they can notice for if they want to.
Yeah, that's very odd.
It's not for us. This could be a Tuesday. Because Monday is President's Day. Monday is no problem. I'd like to try and move Liberty Farm Dogs along.
Maximum of 6 dogs. You heard testimony for the first part, and we had a lot of neighbors.
Supportive.
Have been supportive.
Yeah. I mean, the issues are basically technical.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to follow up with the Board of Health.
Yep.
And
Nancy.
they needed to do something with the fence on on one of the property lines because the fence that they were counting on using is actually the neighbor's fence.
Yeah,
So they need to do something with that.
yeah, both the rear and the side were not on their property.
Oh, I thought it was just the side.
And we want to see the floor plans of it too.
Yeah. So those were the issues that they were dealing with. I gotta believe that they should be mostly, that it was the health department that was causing them delay in January.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so please reach out to them, let them know they need to renotice because we've got a break-in notice. And, it's located the over in the same neighborhood.
It's,
Same January.
21 Liberty Road.
Yes.
In the corner of Liberty and Garibaldi.
They've been there for 2 years.
Yeah, no, they've been doing it for a while, and no one's complained. And
Neighbors love them.
the competition. Yeah, they finally found out that, they needed to get a variance for business. Yeah. Anyway, so see if we can get them on for the 20th. And, no, you have to listen to the tape from the first hearing.
You have a house here. Well,
Were you on the
Did you get it? Then you're good.
if you ain't getting out, it's rough.
If it's in your name,
Yes, it is.
okay, yeah, then you should have gotten a notice if you were in the 200-foot limit.
How far are you from them?
You don't use that LLC here. No, this is my mother's house.
Yeah,
How
if-
far are you?
Put my garden there.
If you didn't get a notice, you're clean.
Really.
Okay.
question? Upland Pines application.
Yes.
So this application was filed in, I guess, the regional cloud and the board of adjustment. It never, Frank, my predecessor, had explained that to me, and he suggested I reach out to the attorney, which I did, he was back, and he said he hasn't heard anything from the applicant, he doesn't know.
And keep the cottage where they were.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a historical property.
Well, yeah, there's been no activity for well over a year, so I was just wondering if we wanted to dismiss it without prejudice or just keep it.
There's no clock running on it. It's not complete. See, as long as the board doesn't deem it complete, there's no clock running on it.
Well, no, I know
A lot of boards, they like, if you want to clean out, you don't want to run,
Yeah.
have the application live on their shelf. So they said, look, we're going to dismiss it. If you want to come back, write a letter, and we'll give you a date. You have to notice. It's just, it's without prejudice.
Yeah.
You're just gonna store it someplace.
I don't, personally, I don't think we need to do that.
Fine.
Just let it sit. Got other applications like that.
We got enough work in front of us.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else from anybody?
I see.
Yeah.
And I want to also thank,
For me, upstairs, I prefer that. Yeah, good stuff.
All right.
and I also want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, and also Denise for allowing me to do this on Zoom.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor from our vice chair. Vice, no, it's already been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.